It doesn't make any sense. No matter what I do, I keep losing with my builds. I'm always losing to these Iron Tether Storm's Eyes or these Flame Charm Mage builds. It just doesn't make any sense.
Are you tired of your builds being trash?
Huh?
Tired of losing to Iron Tether Storm's Eyes and Flame Charm Mage builds?
I'm tired of losing those builds. That's me. That's me he's talking about.
Well, then you've come to the right place, because at Feline's Academy, I'll teach you, yourself, yes you, how to make a good build, instead of those terrible builds you call finished.
Dang, bro, you don't gotta say it like that.
You can learn all this just for the small price of selling your soul to Ethanol.
First of all, to be walking you through this, we're gonna use the build creator. If you don't know what the build creator is, I don't know what to tell you, bro. You need to start using the build creator. Just look at it. It's a great tool for making builds. I know some people that literally don't use the build creator, just go in and make random stats, but you have to use the build creator. All right, so we're gonna basically cut this into like 3 separate portions. Top portion, and then we have our core stats with our attunement, and the bottom were boons and vitality and stuff. So first of all, we're gonna stop at the top. Your race. So your race doesn't really play that big of a deal when it comes to making a good build, whether it be PvE or PvP. I would say PvE, your race is more important. Things like Vesperian, they can give you extra defense, or things like Khan, they can help you equip weapons like 2 or 3 investment points before the actual requirement, so you can use those points in your core attributes instead. Next, we got our oath. Before you start making your build, you want to know what oath you want to go, because your oath will determine some of the stats you go, because you need to have those ending stats to be able to get the oath, depending on what you're going. Things like Oathless, Contractor, Dawn Walker, they don't have stat requirements, so they don't really depend on your stats as much as other things do, like Star Kindred, you need 50 strength for that. Jet Striker, you need 50 strength for that. Next, the Murmur. In all situations, you should probably just be going Ardor. It's basically the best, unless you want to go Tacit to get Tacit Dropkick or something. But yeah, probably just pick Ardor. Your origin doesn't matter too much when it comes to the end of your build, but it will matter during your progression. You have Lone Warrior, which is just spawning in Trial of 1. Deepbound. Deepbound is a pretty fast way to progress if you know how to do it, because your XP in the depths is definitely multiplied a lot, so you can definitely get progression faster. And then Voidwalker, which I'm not being biased, but it's objectively the best origin. You get to spawn basically with your own guild base. You have all of your ingredients there, all your trainings there, you can sell stuff there, or you can teleport. Right, come on. Moving on to your bell. When you're making a build, your bell shouldn't be a factor that makes your build, because you don't really know what bell you're gonna get, or you're gonna have to do a lot of grinding to get it. So yeah, your build doesn't really make your build. Next is the outfit. The outfit is something you're also probably gonna want to decide based on the type of build you're making. Something like the Black Diver is definitely better for physical type of builds that want more survivability, because it has higher physical armor. Something like the Prophet's Cloak would be more beneficial for mage builds, as it gives you more ether regen and also gives you a talent for more mantra penetration. Then after that, you have some schematics that are really just useful for like certain styles. You know, Summer Dragoon, obviously you want to wear that if you have a gun. And then like Legion Centurion, that's a Legion style. Justicar's armor, you'd wear that for just Karita. And probably wear the Cloak of Winds or the Royal Etrian Guard if you're making a katana build. The next part of making your build is going to be the weapon you choose. So you have 3 different categories: heavy, light, medium. They'll all basically decide the way that your playstyle is. You know, medium, you're more, I guess you're more balanced. You know, you have some of that range, you have some of that attack speed. Light, should probably be more up in someone's face, doing more criticals, swing a lot faster. Heavy, a lot slower, has big range, and probably the biggest damage there as well. I would probably say heavy is most likely going to be the hardest one to use, especially if you're new. And even if you're not new, heavy is probably still the hardest one. I would say it's kind of like the worst, because for it to really be good, you know, you have to be creative, you have to have good mix-ups, stuff like that, because heavy most of the time is pretty like easy and predictable to actually parry. Last but not least, your traits and boons. So first off, traits. Vitality is going to give you 10 extra HP on every point that you put into it, so it can be very useful. Erudition is going to raise your tempo, making you be able to do more events, having more ether. Proficiency is going to make your weapon scale higher, do more damage. And then Song Chant is going to give you extra mantra damage and extra mantra pen. So obviously On a mage build, you would want to run Song Chant, Vitality, and some Erudition. On a build like Silent Heart, there's literally no point in running Song Chant since, you don't have mantras. So you'd run like 6 Vitality and 6 Proficiency, or 6 Vitality, 4 Proficiency, and 2 Erudition. But I would definitely advise having Erudition on any type of build you make, since this game has a lot of combos now. You need that tempo to vent. But let's go over to our boons and our flaws. So the flaws and the boons don't matter too much, or the flaws don't matter too much when it comes to like the end of your build, except deficient. You don't want deficient, especially if you're a mage build. If you're Silent Heart, once again, doesn't matter because you don't have ether. If you don't know what deficient does, it makes it harder for you to actually regen ethers. So if you use a lot of mantras, obviously you don't want that. But the other ones don't really matter when it comes to the end of your build. Now on to our boons and our flaws. Our flaws, first off, aren't going to really change the way you play in endgame too much, except for really deficient. Deficient makes it so it's harder for you to regen ether. You definitely don't want this on a mage build, since obviously you want as much ether as you want. Having to spam all your mantras. On something like Silent Heart, once again, it wouldn't matter. You don't use mantras. But boons can definitely have an impact on your endgame, I think more than flaws can. Something like Pack Mule gives you more carry load. That's good for a PvE build. Something like Steadfast makes it so you retain armor better. Your armor doesn't go down as much as it usually would. So good against like Iron Sing users, good against like long ganks, so you can keep your armor up as long as possible. But those two are really the only ones, except maybe Survivalist, that those two are really the only ones that you're going to want, because they really help you in the end game of your build, and they bring your build together. But yeah, that's how to make a good build. Make sure to like,
comment, subscribe, notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.
Wow. I mean, what can I say? After watching that commercial on how to make good builds, I think it's finally time. Time I go in the Deepwoken builder and I cook up the most diabolical, disgusting flame charm mage build. You really opened my eyes to everything I've been missing out on. It's time that the Metamancer become the Metamancer. Nah, but for real though, like, subscribe to the video. Like, if you're all the way to the end, like, what are you doing? Subscribe, bro. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It's really that simple, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's pretty simple.